If you don't force yourself to improve, nothing in your life will. Think about this for a second. How many times have you said, "I'll start tomorrow"? How often have you known exactly what to do, but didn't do it? Most people don't lack potential. They just keep giving in to comfort, and comfort never builds a better life. This isn't about being lazy. It's about letting your feelings run the show. You feel tired, so you skip it. You feel unmotivated, so you delay it. But your life doesn't care how you feel. It only reflects what you do. This video is real. It's for people who are tired of falling back into the same habits. It's for people who want to stop wasting time and start building something that lasts. No more waiting, no more soft talk. If you're ready to push past your limits and take control of your progress, this is your starting point. Let's get into it. Chapter 1. Stand up and fix what you keep ignoring. You know what's tough? Facing something you've been avoiding for days, weeks, or maybe even years. That's hard. But do you know what's even harder? Living with the results of never doing it. Every day, you wake up, and there's something pulling at your mind, a task you haven't completed, a habit you haven't broken, a conversation you haven't had, a decision you've postponed. And the longer you delay it, the heavier it gets. That's the weight of neglect. That's the cost of ignoring what needs your attention. Improvement doesn't start when things are perfect. It starts when you stand up and deal with what's been slowing you down. That's the moment change begins. Most people are waiting for some ideal day to start over. They say they'll do it next week, or after the weekend, or when they feel more ready. But there is no perfect day. There is only today. And the truth is, if you're not willing to face it now, you likely won't face it later. So if something in your life feels off, if you know deep down there's an area you've been running from, don't look away anymore. Improvement begins the moment you decide you're done pretending things are fine. You don't need to be perfect to begin. You just need to be honest. Be honest about what you've been avoiding. Be honest about the ways you've let yourself slide. Be honest about the patterns that are stealing your time, energy, and potential. You see, it's not the big goals that break people, it's the small lies they keep telling themselves. It's the silent agreement they make with their weaker self every day. That inner voice that says, "You'll do it tomorrow." That voice is the enemy. That voice keeps you average. That voice protects your comfort, but destroys your progress. That voice sounds soft, but it leads you to a hard life. If you want to grow, you've got to get loud with your actions. You've got to break that quiet agreement with laziness. If your room is messy, clean it. If your finances are out of control, open your bank account and look at it. If your health is falling apart, go for a walk and eat a proper meal today. Not tomorrow, not next month, today. Because the moment you face it is the moment you take your power back. Every problem you ignore grows in the dark, but every problem you face gets smaller in the light of action. Most people don't fall because they're weak. They fall because they keep waiting to feel strong before they act. But that's not how it works. Action first, feeling later. Strength comes from doing hard things, not thinking about them. The person you want to become is already inside you, but that version of you is hidden behind all the things you're avoiding. Now listen, I've met people from all over the world, people with all kinds of talent, intelligence, and dreams. But you know what separates the ones who grow from the ones who stay stuck? It's not luck. It's not who their parents were. It's not how much money they had starting out. It's the decision to face what's hard without turning their back on it. They got up and fixed what they kept ignoring. You don't need a new course or a new app to do that. You need courage. You need discipline. You need to stop asking how you feel about it and start asking what needs to be done. Start small if you have to. Clean your workspace. Answer that email. Go to bed on time. Drink water. Apologize if you need to. Finish something you started but left hanging. Those little steps may not seem like much, but they stack up, and every one of them builds your confidence back, brick by brick. When you take action, even if it's small, your brain starts to believe again. Your self-respect starts to grow again. You stop feeling like life is happening to you, and you start feeling like you're directing it. That's power. That's ownership. That's improvement. And the truth is, no one's coming to rescue you. No one's going to wake you up early. No one's going to sit you down and fix your problems for you. You have to do it. You have to rise up and take that first step when no one's clapping for you. That's real growth. That's what separates the talkers from the doers. You know what needs your attention. You don't need more time, you need more responsibility. Growth isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters. It's about picking the area of your life that's been ignored for too long and finally saying, enough, I'm going to deal with this. I'm going to stop escaping. I'm going to stop blaming. I'm going to stop hiding. Because once you deal with that one thing, your energy will shift. Your identity will start to change. You'll feel more capable. You'll start trusting yourself again. And that's when the magic starts happening, not in theory, but in real life. See, self-improvement isn't a lifestyle trend. It's a personal promise. It's not something you do only when you feel motivated. It's something you do because you respect yourself. And every day you ignore what matters, you're breaking that promise to yourself. But every time you take action, no matter how small, you're building it back stronger. There's no shortcut to growth. There's only facing what you've been avoiding and doing what needs to be done without delay, without excuses, without running. That's the work. That's the discipline. That's how you get better. I know it's uncomfortable. I know it's hard. But here's the thing, avoiding the problem doesn't make life easier. It just makes you weaker. And you're not here to be weak. You're here to get stronger. You're here to push yourself. You're here to become the version of yourself that you respect. The version that takes charge. The version that leads. The version that keeps promises and handles pressure. So, if there's something in your life right now that you've been ignoring, face it today. Don't wait for some magic feeling to show up. You won't feel ready. You just have to be done waiting. Stand up. Fix what's broken. Handle what's messy. Do what's uncomfortable. Because the longer you delay, the further you drift from the person you want to be. And I promise you this, once you do it, once you face it, once you fix it, you'll breathe differently. You'll walk differently. You'll think more clearly. You'll trust yourself more. And from that moment on, you'll realize that growth was never as far as it seemed. It was always on the other side of doing what you've been ignoring. You want to improve? Start there. Stand up and fix what you keep ignoring. That's the first step to real change. That's how the climb begins. And once you take that step, everything else starts to move with you. Not because life got easier, but because you got stronger. And that strength, that daily choice to face what matters, is how you force yourself to improve every single day. Chapter 2. Clean your space before you clean your mind. Look around the space you live in. Look at your room, your desk, your kitchen, your car, even your digital life. Look at the clutter, the mess, the disorganization. That is not just stuff lying around. That's a reflection of your decisions, your mental state, and your personal discipline. The environment you allow around you shapes the way you think, the way you act, and how you feel about yourself. You can't build a strong, focused mind in the middle of chaos. If your outer world is out of order, your inner world will struggle to feel sharp, calm, or focused. And that's the truth. People say they want clarity, peace, motivation, energy. But it's hard to have those things when you're waking up in a room full of clothes on the floor, cups on the table, tasks undone, and random papers piled up. You can't expect your mind to be clear when your environment keeps reminding you of everything you haven't handled. That silent stress builds up. It becomes mental noise. And every day you ignore it, it chips away at your focus, your motivation, your power. Before you try to reset your mindset, start with what you can control right now. Clean your space. That's not just about being neat, it's about taking back control. Because when you clean your space, you clean your behavior. When you throw out what you don't need, you stop holding on to what no longer helps you. When you put things in order, your brain starts to believe that you're capable of order. It believes that you can fix things. It sees action, and action is the foundation of improvement. No one feels powerful in a mess. No one sits in a dirty space and says, "I feel unstoppable." That's because we're wired to respond to our surroundings. And when you live in clutter, it trains your brain to tolerate confusion and delay action. You stop seeing what needs to be done. You start accepting that the pile in the corner will stay there. And slowly, that acceptance becomes your standard. You stop reacting to it because you've trained yourself to ignore it. And that mindset leaks into everything else. You delay things. You accept low standards. You leave things half-finished. You start living in a cycle of tolerating what you know you should fix. So the first step to getting your life together is to take responsibility for what's around you. You don't need money to clean your space. You don't need a self-help book or a planner or a perfect routine. You just need to get up and start removing the things that don't belong. Throw away the trash, wipe the surfaces, organize your workspace, make your bed, fold your clothes. It's not about impressing anyone. It's about showing yourself that you have the discipline to create a better environment. And here's what most people don't realize: cleaning your space builds momentum. You start with one drawer, and it leads to the closet. You clean your room, and suddenly you want to go for a walk. You finish a task, and now your mind feels sharper. That's how it starts. One action leads to another. That's how you build movement. That's how you break the mental fog. Not by sitting and waiting to feel better, but by doing something small that leads to something big. Cleaning also gives you space to think. When your surroundings are clean, you can focus better. Your thoughts aren't competing with the mess. Your brain isn't drained by all the visual reminders of what you've ignored. You can breathe better. You feel lighter. That's not an illusion. That's your mind finally getting a break from carrying the weight of the unfinished. And it's not just about physical space. Clean your phone, delete the apps you don't use, clear out the emails that don't matter, unfollow accounts that drain your energy. When your digital world is chaotic, it pulls your mind in 100 directions. You're trying to focus, but your phone is buzzing, your tabs are open, your photos are full of screenshots and junk. That's not harmless, it's a constant stream of noise. And noise makes it harder to think, harder to focus, harder to stay consistent. You want a better life? Start by cleaning the life you already have. Because the truth is, if you don't respect what you have, you won't respect what's coming next. A person who can't manage a messy room will struggle to manage a business.